Hello, hello. Anyone want to join me this night for my life? Anyone wants to join me this evening? Anyone available to join me this? See if there's anyone available to join me this evening. I just want to talk. I just want to chat about life. You know, I just want to chat about life. So what I've done is I have my face mask on, and next I will be cleaning my face with my Medicube paw pads. Just one of them is enough for me. Anyone available this night? Let's talk about life. Let's talk about disappointments, setbacks, and how do you deal with that? Disappointments, setback, and how do you deal with that? I have, as a person, experienced disappointments so many times in my life. Honestly, I think that the first time I experienced disappointment was when I was 10, 11. At that time, I really didn't know what it was, but I knew that my parents wanted something for me. We had a plan, and the plan didn't pull through. But as a child, my emotions had not grown, so I just didn't understand the impact or the implication of what happened at that point in my life. Fast forward to when I was 16, 17, I experienced another disappointment, and this disappointment was huge. I think that was my very first taste of disappointment. I had planned to go study in the US. I'd written the exams. I wrote SATs. I wrote the TOEFL exam. Kids, hello. Nefer, hello. I'm talking about way back now. I'm talking about over 15 or 20 years ago. I wrote the SAT exam. Where am I from? I'm from the United Kingdom. I wrote the SAT exam and I did extremely well on the SAT exam. Back then, I was very, very brilliant. I was very bright as a child. So I did extremely well on the SAT exam. I think I missed the full marks. I think I got 140 or 1,240. Anyway, I got I got very high marks to the point where I got part scholarship. Hi, Carl. I got part scholarship to a school in the US. If I remember vividly, that school was in North Carolina, a university in the US. Honestly, this is the first time I'm talking about this in a public space. I've not even spoken about this to my friends. This is just something within my family, and very few of my friends that know about it. One of my friends recently, hi Carl, spoke about it, and I'm like, hey, you remember? And I was like, yes, I do remember. So let me tell you about the story. So I did very well in my SAT. I got almost full scores in my TOEFL exam, and I'd gotten this part scholarship to go study in the US. I was excited, very excited. My family was super excited, my siblings were super excited. I'd wanted to be a doctor, so I changed courses. So I wanted to study computer science, so I got in this hello Jacob. I'd gotten this scholarship to study in the US. Mind you, I'm from Nigeria. Hi Paulette. Mind you, I'm from Nigeria, so I was living in Nigeria. I was living in Lagos at that time, and everything was going well. My dad had paid I'd gotten scholarship for tuition, so I wasn't supposed to pay for tuition. My dad had made part payment for room and board. So we're getting set. I'd bought a little. Do you speak a little Spanish? No, Nefer. I'd bought, my bags were set, everything was set, and I'd gone to apply for visa, American visa. I remember back then in Lagos, it was at Walter Carrington. I'd gone to apply for visa with the hopes that, oh, everything is right, my papers are right, I've got the scholarship, everything is pure, I would get the visa. And I think school was resuming a week too, and I wasn't given a visa. I was about 17. That was the very first time I experienced disappointment. Like, I really experienced disappointment, and I was heartbroken. I was so heartbroken, and that was because I didn't have a plan B. Now, if you're familiar with Nigeria, you need to write JAMB and all that. I'd written JAMB the previous year, but that year, and I'd done well for JAMB. I didn't. Hi, never. I don't speak Spanish. No, I didn't. I didn't write JAMB this particular year, so I didn't have a plan B for university. My plan A, well, was the only plan I had, so they didn't give me visa. And this was sometime August. Schools resumed in September. I was heartbroken. I cried for days. I was inconsolable. My mom was so heartbroken to the point that she got sick. This is a story I've never really shared. My mom was so heartbroken that she got really sick. Yes, she got really sick. My dad was, everybody was heartbroken. I cried for days because I had all my hopes there. I didn't have a plan B. What do you do? What do I do? My dad had paid. We had to look for a plan B. I remember I was on part scholarship, so we felt, should we defer the admission? Somehow, in the state of that disappointment and outbreak, we just gave up. I just gave up hope. Like, I just gave up. I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. And around that time, the private universities started coming up in Nigeria. Eventually, I was able to get into a university. It took some months, so I was at home while other people were going to uni. It took some months. But I said this story because that was the first time I experienced disappointment and setback. And after that time, even though it was something that hurt me so much, I held on to that. I held on to that feeling of disappointment and being heartbroken, But I went to uni, I did my best, I graduated, I had good scores. I live in El Salvador. Hi, how is El Salvador today? I got good grades, I graduated with a good grade, but that never left me. After that, I had series of disappointments, heartbreaks, setbacks, and that made me be this kind of person where I always have a plan A, B, C. I always have a plan A, I'll have a plan B, I'll have a plan C. Because when I'm doing something, I always ask myself, what if it doesn't happen? What if I get disappointed? What if this doesn't work? Am I left in limbo? So I always have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Nefa Avila, I do not know your president. I know nothing about El Salvador. Hi, Paris the gamer. So that's how I live my life. But I just wanted to share because I think that people need to learn how to handle disappointments, setbacks well. I think as an adult now, I've come to see disappointment as part of life, setbacks as part of life. And I think that disappointments and setbacks sort of propel us to growth. It toughens us up. When you experience disappointments, it's either you yield to that disappointment and become depressed, or you bounce back from that disappointment and tell myself, it's okay to fall several times. It's okay to fail several times, but I'll keep trying. One thing for me, one lesson I learned is when I was disappointed when I was 16 years old, I should have tried again, but I didn't. I gave up. But as a Christian, I'll say all things work out for good because God knows why. Maybe if I tried, something bad could have happened. I don't know. But in life, you would always face disappointments. You would always face setbacks. Hi, Paris. You would always face setbacks. But I want you to allow your disappointments or the setbacks that you face be a stepping stone to you. Let it be something that will propel you to growth. Let it be something that will propel you to go. Hi, Jacob. Hi, I saw your message. Hi, how are you? Where are you from, Jacob? Yeah, let it be something that will propel you to growth. Growth doesn't come from a place of comfort. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone. You know, they say necessity is the mother of invention. So if you're in your comfort zone, your thinking is closed. But when you are in a space that is not comfortable, when you are in a space where you're fighting, you're struggling to be someone, to be something, you know, you can think out of the box and grow. I think that God has put in every one of us the need, the innate need to grow, to be better, to do better, to become bigger, to become wiser, to become richer, to become healthier. I think it's something that God has put in us. While I'm saying that, please subscribe to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. Right, so God has put something in every one of us to do better, to be better. So God has put in every one of us, you know, a reason, a yearning, a desire to grow. He has put in every one of us a desire to grow. That's why most people have New Year resolutions. You know, the year rolls in and we come to the end of the year and people ask themselves, what have I achieved this year? Have I made any impact this year? Have I grown? People want to go in different areas. And then as you start the new year, people say, oh, this year I want to be better. This year I want to be healthier. This year I want to be fit. This year I want to take care of myself. This year I want to love my family more. This year I want to start a new business. This year I want to go back to school and learn something. This year I want to make more money. This year I want to travel all over the world. So people make, you know, they make not promises, they make a conscious effort to be better every year. So what I'm trying to say is that I believe that God has put in every one of us something, a yearning that makes us want to do better, want to be better. But in the midst of being better, doing better, we will experience disappointments, we will experience setbacks, you will experience things that will shake your faith, you will experience things that will make you think, am I on the right path? But I'm here to tell you, do not give up. Do not give up. Let your setback, let your disappointments propel you to do better, to be better. You know, if you read the biographies of most of these successful people, for example, Steve Jobs, that started the Apple company, they will tell you about how many times they failed. If you read about Microsoft's Bill Gates, it will tell you about how many times they failed. If you read and listen to successful people, I listen to a lot of podcasts, they'll tell you about so many businesses that they founded and failed. So many successful people have failed, but what they've done is they fail forward, so you don't fail backwards. What they've done is, even though they fail, they pick up themselves and try again. You know, there's this particular musician I like. If you're Gen Z, you may not know her, Aaliyah. God bless her soul. Aaliyah sang a song. She says, if at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again. Yeah, because that's life. We can't afford to give up. I still feel that I shouldn't have given up years ago, but now I know that as an adult, and now I know that even if I face setbacks, disappointments, it's gonna hurt. But I'm not going to deny myself of that emotion of feeling the pain. I'm not going to deny myself of the emotion of feeling hurt. What I'm not going to do is I will soak in that emotion. I feel pain, yes. I feel hurt, yes. But I'm not going to dwell on it forever. I'm not going to let it set me back. I'm not going to sit on it, no. What I will do is I will take the hurt, I will take that pain, and I'll use it to propel myself to the next level. And you know what? I don't mind failing again. So in life, you will always face challenges. Some you will lose, you win some, you lose some. People that are into gambling or people that play sport, that are into sports, they understand this. You win some, you lose some. If you're a football fan, you belong to, you support Arsenal or you support Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan here. Or you support Liverpool, or you support Man United, you support whatever club, Tottenham, whatever club you support, that you win some, you lose some. That's why it's a game, and that is life. You cannot go through life winning all the way. And I also think that sometimes when we go through disappointments, we go through setbacks, we go through delays, it's God's way of humbling us. That's my honest opinion. So when I go through a disappointment, a setback, I ask myself, what is the lesson here? Hi, girly, summer rain, lullaby. Hi, girly. I ask myself, what is the lesson here? What am I supposed to learn from this disappointment? What am I supposed to learn from this challenge? What am I supposed to learn from this setback? So most times when we go through disappointment, because I'm a Christian, I believe that there's a lesson to learn. One, sometimes I think that disappointment is just God's way of humbling us. Sometimes we think that we can do all things. I'm very smart. I'm this way because I'm smart. Oh, I'm very beautiful. I'm achieving success because I'm beautiful, or I'm very eloquent. I know how to speak, so I am who I am, or I've gotten to the level I am because I speak well, or I'm very educated. So people sometimes rely on their ability, and sometimes things will just come and shake you off, sweep you off your feet, so you would know and you would need to be humbled. Right? Imagine being so rich and you've never experienced hunger. You don't know what hunger feels like. You would not be able to relate to someone that is hungry. Or you're so beautiful, you've never experienced, you've always had good comments and everybody is always giving you preferential treatment, and no one has ever said no to you because of how you look. Or you are so educated, you're so eloquent. Right? Hi, Summer. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining this evening. I'm just talking about life while doing my skincare routine. So I'm just talking about disappointments, challenges, setbacks, and how we use that as a stepping board to grow. So challenges and setbacks sometimes may just be a lesson in life. Or it may just be that God wants to redirect you to something else. It may just be that you're having a myopic view about something and God wants you to explore something else. And here's what I think. I think that God has put in everybody there something that makes them successful, something that's going to make them authentic, something that's going to make them be that person He wants them to be. And in the process of finding out who you are or what you want to do, you have to explore, you have to experiment, and then you fail until you finally hit the one that makes you your authentic self, right? So that's what I think. I think that setbacks are challenges, as difficult as they may be, and we don't want to go through them. It is a stepping stone. Right, I was watching this girl on Instagram, and she was talking about how, so she has this channel where she does skincare, she does hair. Right, I love hair. I like to do my hair myself. I love anything that has to do with beauty. So I watched her, and she was talking about how she was living in a trailer park. She's living in a car at a point, and then she just started posting videos about her hair journey, how she makes her hair herself. And now she's a major influencer on Instagram. She makes lots of money from her content on Instagram. Now, the point is, if she was in a place of comfort, she probably wouldn't have started posting on social media. So let whatever challenge you're going through, let whatever setback you're going through, I'm not saying do not feel it, do not feel disappointment, do not feel down or low. Please do. Do not ignore your emotions at that time. If you feel sad, at that time be sad. If you want to cry, cry out. I'm not going to be one of them that will say don't cry out. Cry out. If you need a shoulder to lean on someone that is trusted, that you can share with. But don't dwell on that emotion. Learn the lessons from that emotion. Right? You tell yourself, what are the lessons to be learned from this? In my line of work, we do what we call lessons learned. What are the lessons that I need to learn from this? And then you move on. You re-strategize and you move on. just a break in transmission. So what I've done so far for my skin is I washed my face, and then I used my Medicube Zero Pore Pads to wipe like a cleanser. This is a deep cleanser. It's got panthenol, allantoin, BHA, AHA. Yeah, dedicated to real results. I've been using it for a while and I do like it, especially if you're someone that has large pores. And after doing that, I used I allowed that to dry in, and I use my tranexamic acid serum. And this helps to reduce the appearance of hyperpigmentation, right? And I just allowed that to dry into my face, and now I'm going in with my Medicube. I'm just going to show you my Medicube collagen jelly mask. So most of the products I'm using are Korean skincare. I love Korean skincare. Why? Because they're effective, one, they're affordable, two, I don't need to break a bank for my skincare. So I'm gonna put this on overnight, right? So this got collagen. Right, so back to what I was saying. So let the challenge that you're going through be that stepping board for growth. Let it challenge you to grow in whatever area, right? Look at that challenge and ask yourself, what lessons can I learn from this? Where do I buy my Korean skincare? Girl, I buy them all the way from Korea, but I can plug you in, girl. Just reach out to me, I can plug you in. In fact, I'm going to, because most of my skincare products are they're finishing, so I'm going to be repurchasing some, doing bulk orders. So if you want some, please reach out to me. If you're in the UK, I can order for you, and then you original, because that's another topic. There's a lot of fake Korean skincare out there, a lot of fake products, and what you don't want to do is use fake products on your skin, right? So I can plug you in, girl. So anyway, as I was saying, let your challenge, let that setback, let it propel you, let it find encouragement. First of all, learn the lessons, evaluate what did I do wrong in this situation. If it's something within your control, if it's something outside of your control, just let it go. If you're a person of faith like me, I pray about it. I study my Bible. I try to listen. I ask God, what are you saying to me? I try to listen, and then I let it go and I move on, because I trust that better things will come my way. I trust that all things will eventually work out together for my good. Even if sometimes the challenge or the setback could be because of wrong decisions that we make ourselves. So even if I make a wrong decision, I trust that it will definitely work out for my good. Because that's what the Bible tells me. It says, all things will work out for my good, right? So if I make a mistake that causes me to experience setback, I evaluate, I try to learn my lessons and I move on. And honestly, sometimes, especially if you're experiencing this setback multiple times, it could be God's way of saying, no, child, that is not the way for you, right? It could be God's way of saying, no, child, that is not the way for you. So let's embrace the challenges. I know we're living in a society where, people talk about soft life and how everything has to be soft and everything has to be easy, but reality check 101, life is not a bed of roses. Life is full of ups and downs. You have your peaks and you have your troughs. You have your up times and your down times. That is life. You can ask people that are older. You can ask your parents. You can ask your uncles and your aunts. I'm a millennial. Life is full of ups and downs. So yes, social media will tell you, oh, soft life, soft life. But what comes with soft life? What comes with soft life is that you have to go through challenges to build strength of character, strength in your emotional strength, physical strength. Sometimes your challenge could be health-wise, and all you need to do is just lose some weight, which isn't easy. All you need to do is go to the gym, or all you need to do is change your eating habits and make lifestyle changes. That is it. So I don't want to say that nothing good comes easy, because some good things do come and you don't really have to work hard for some good things to come. But all I'm saying is, whatever challenge you're facing, let it be a stepping stone. Let it be a stepping stone to growth. You know, fail forward. Fail forward. Pick yourself up and try again, girl. Pick yourself up and try again, bruv. Yeah, fail forward. Pick yourself up and try again. And take responsibility. If it's your fault, be accountable to yourself, which is what a lot of people don't do nowadays. We try to blame other people. If you've done something wrong, be accountable for it. Ask for forgiveness and move forward. You know, don't dwell on it. Oh, I've done something wrong. It's the end of the world. No, girl, no guy, no bruv. It's not the end of the world. If you've done something wrong, take accountability. Try to rectify it if you can, and move forward. Whenever you fail at something, fail forward. Pick yourself up, learn your lessons, and move on. You know, there's this one that they say, we move. When I move, you move. Just like that. We move. Right? We move. And that's life. That's life. I've learned so many lessons in my life. In my short life, I've learned so many lessons. When I fail at something, I'm not afraid to take risks. It's good to take calculated risk, like weigh the pros and the cons. I'm not afraid to take risk. I weigh the impacts, you know, of the risk. If it's something I can bear, I take the risk. If it fails, it fails. I'd rather fail at trying something than not try it at all. Yeah, that's it. I'd rather fail at trying something than not trying it at all. If you're here, please like, subscribe to my channel. My light has just gone off. I think that's it's just telling me, girl, it's time to go to bed. You've been talking and talking for 30 minutes. Yeah, so please just like, subscribe to my channel. My name is Tammy, and what I do is I talk about skincare, because I love to take care of my skin. I love to take care of my body. I believe that self-care is self-love. If you love yourself, you will take care of yourself. You will take care of that body, of that skin, of that hair, of your nails, of what God has given to you. You will take care of it, you know, even as you go about life. So I love to talk about skincare. I also love fashion, you know. So on my page, you will see different things. You will see fashion, you will see skincare. And I like to talk. I like to ramble like I'm doing this night. And I find that coming on live, especially when I'm doing my night skincare, works for me. Even though I can't see your faces, but I appreciate all of you who have joined. Ankit, Nefer, someone from Russia, Kyle, Jacob Jenkins, Paulette, hi girl, thank you for joining. Paris the Gamer, Summer Rain Lullaby, you know, thank you everyone for joining my live this night. I really, really appreciate it. And I wish you all a good night rest, that you would have good dreams. Like my toddler will say, my preschooler would say, that you won't fall out of your bed. I wonder where she got that from. But I wish you all a good night rest. Don't fall out of your bed. And when you wake up tomorrow, decide to face the world head on, because the world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for that which only you, the unique you whose fingerprint is different from every other person in this world. You whose palm print is different from every other person in this world. You whose voice is different from every other person in this world. You whose handwriting is different from every other person in the world. The unique you know, to spring forth and do good and do great and be better in life. So I'm cheering for you. Please like I said, subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for joining my life. Till I see you next time. Ciao.